Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Prophet, and today I'm going to be talking about passive supporting, which is going to be focusing on Janna. I've gotten actually quite a few requests lately, just simply due to I did the aggressive support featuring Lulu, so I thought I should, or people thought that I should do the same, just featuring Janna. So why don't we just go into the game and let's start. This is actually done live so that I can answer if there is any questions in the chat. So I'm sorry if, yeah, everything comes at once. Okay, so first I'm going to be just mentioning the players. It's going to be the Caitlyn Thresh lane up against Tristana and Janna. That is the main lane that we're going to be focusing on, and for the mid lane it's going to be Garen up against Yorick, I think. And then top lane is going to be Malzahar versus Jarvan. I'm in the jungle up against the Lee Sin jungle. Okay, so just as a quick little, let's just take a look at what passive supporting actually is and the difference between aggressive supporting. You can sort of look at it as passive supporting is utilizing your opponent's mistakes, while aggressive supporting is utilizing their weaknesses. Say you have Blitzcrank on your team. Your lane has, for example, a Draven Blitzcrank, and you're facing Sona Ezreal. What you're going to be doing is that you're going to see that, okay, they have a Sona. I'm going to be focusing on trying to take her out and utilizing the fact that she is squishy early game and go for the hooks. Whilst on the other hand, an aggressive lane such as a Ludo Draven will be able to just wait, did it? Fuck, okay. Anyway, the passive lane I meant to say, like Janna Vayne, for example, might see that, okay, now the enemies are out of position. They're coming too close to us, and let's punish them for that. Because that's something that you need to do. You need to punish people for their mistakes, and since you do not always have that heavy initiate, like Janna, you do not have that super heavy initiate unless you come close enough to get off a tornado or a W. So you're just going to be reacting to what the enemies are doing. Sort of, yeah, so you're playing this very reactionary style. So as we can see here, the enemy, they had sort of an aggressive through Thresh, and that means that here the red team bot lane need to just be prepared, like if there comes a hook, they need to react to that in a different way than than what an aggressive lane might do. Like for example, if this lane had Lulu, they might just say, okay, what are our enemy's weaknesses? Yes, their weakness might be taking some poke to Thresh when he comes up to get closer. You might get a full burst when they want to farm. You just utilize those weaknesses. Whilst here we see that the red team just want to get off a few shields. If the hook goes down, a tornado, a slow shield goes down, right? Okay, so let's ask ourselves the question: why is Janna actually a good champion for a passive team comp? Personally, I would say that that headshot actually missed. Now, Janna is not a support that I favor the most. She is a great support, and I actually like the past 40 games that I've played, I have 100% win rate with Janna. And a total of over 40 games, I have 70% win rate. So she is a great champion to utilize. And when people in the lower leagues, mostly in the lower leagues, they want to like carry as a support because they are either forced to play support or they're maining support, and what they want to do is that they just say that, okay, I'm gonna play Blitzcrank or Lulu or something similar to that, like Thresh, and just I want to carry these games. But that's what we call the carry supports, because if you can land a hook, you have pretty much just insta won the lane, right? If you just continue to get hooks and you get kills, it feels like you have automatically won the lane. But this is also what we call the high risk, high reward style, which is focusing so heavily on getting kills. But then again, if you do not get kills, you're gonna fall behind most likely. Because having AD carries like Tristana, Kog'Maw, Vayne, the general hyper carries in the mid late game. And if you have those hyper carries and then, oh, here comes the Amumu, getting a nice little burst off there on the Janna. But then again, you were able to get off and safely, didn't use the shield early enough though. Anyway, so if you have those hyper carries on your team and you're able to utilize the fact that you can just play safe and win the lane passively without really having to do much work about it. Like, if you have Vayne on your team, you have pretty much won your lane if you go equal or better. So that means that the enemy had pressure on them to actually make the plays and get kills. And if they can't do that, they have sort of lost the lane. Or they have they're behind after the laning phase then. And so that is sort of like the misconception that a lot of people have, that they feel like they need to play this aggressive support. But passive support is not like, if you do not do extremely well in the lane, does not mean that the passive support is out. Like some of the aggressive support, not the hook champions, because hook champions can be good no matter what, simply because if they get a hook, they can very easily just change a team fight, right? If they can grab some pre a team fight, that is huge. So let's say that I'm playing Janna, and we go like pretty much like it goes 0-0 out of the laning phase, right? Like it looks like it might do right now. Here might come some kills from time to time, but then again, if nothing happened and it goes 0-0 out of lane, does that mean that Janna is useless? No. What it means is that Janna had certain pretty nice DC. Her Q is a double knockup, or can knock up multiple people. Her E is a shield, which is pretty much one of the highest shields in the game, or through base. And it can shield towers. Shielding towers is something that's totally unique to Janna. Because shielding, and that just means that, okay, for example, your tower can take 2 extra hits. And if you can just keep it alive for a bit longer time, that is really good. Like right now, Janna could have shielded the turret, made sure it didn't take as much damage. And yeah, there the shield went down. And now they just want to back. So there are multiple ways to really win games playing as passive support. And my favorite thing to do with Janna is to max your E first, of course, so that you will have the highest possible shield at any point in time, because it can really change a fight, either in team fights or in the laning phase. If you're shielding someone in the laning phase, and right now, let's just pause it. Right now, people have finally gotten to their level 6, and the shield itself gives 160 or /170, depending on how much AP you have at this point in time. 160 shield, that is pretty much 1 and pretty much 2 basic attacks before the shield goes away. The shield gives 32 extra AD. So look at Tristana, 174 to 142. And that just turns out to be a really good trade, because the shield is still there. She gets off 3-4 extra basic attacks. That is close to 100 extra damage dealt through having the shield. And there goes the barrier. Thresh ultimate, he uses his box of Doom, his house, and Tristana jumps out because she wants to be safe. And that is of course a viable thing to do, like you don't need to overextend there. Got the kill, got out. So unless the enemy quickly kills off the shield, it's gonna deal a lot of extra damage. I mean 100 to 150 extra damage just through a short of time and through a shield. That is great. So you're gonna start by maxing your shield. After maxing the shield, you're gonna go for the W, because that extra movement speed is huge, giving you a 4, 8, 12, 16% movement speed increase, as well as her passive giving her 3% and her team 3% extra movement speed, meaning that you can run around the map and having high ward pressure. Ward pressure is enormous in the bot lane. So now let's pause the game for a second. Let's take a look at the blue side bot lane. Okay, where do they have vision? Thresh have 1 ward left, and they neither have vision of the enemy's brush, river for incoming ganks, nor try if the mid laner is coming or the jungler decides to go around. Let's take a quick look at the red team, who suddenly have vision all over the place. They do not have vision in this brush, but knowing that there will be no ganking coming besides a lane gank from behind the turret and Thresh Lantern. So they can feel safe. That means that they can just push up without being threatened. And when you are in this situation, when you have no vision, playing can be extremely dangerous and scary, of course. And there goes the all-in. And Tristana knows that she can all-in this simply because A, they have enough damage, and 2, they have that vision. They know that there are no one nearby. But if the blue side had gone all-in, and yeah, they might have won, but then again, it might have been a jungler right there, right in the brush, waiting anywhere. So personally, I just love having that. And that was, look at that, that was actually, say that was 60 plus 2, plus like 100 basic attacks times 2. So that is 200 plus 60, 260 damage that was dealt to Caitlyn, of course, before the reduction. But still, that was simply due to the shield. So playing a passive support means that you can both do good trades, and you can just utilize the fact that your opponents, they are weaker right now. They have sort of fallen behind simply due to the fact that they played into you. They did mistakes, and they played sort of into your hand. Because you were playing passive and you were able to just farm up, get advantages that you needed to start snowballing. Which of course Tristana is able to do right now. She's going for that extra crit early on. Looks like she wants that Infinity Edge first. I don't know about that buy. It's not a bad buy, that's for sure. But there could be other things that could be better. Here goes the Lee Sin. He just want to make sure that no farm goes away. But then again, here comes the dive, and this is something I really wanted to see again because it looks so fucking sick. Okay, so they're just pushing the line, saying, okay, the red team bot lane is not here. Let's just push it. Lee Sin just, yeah, well, he don't want this farm to go to waste, to deterred, and he gets hooked by Thresh. A lot of damage is being dealt here by Caitlyn. The house goes down, the box, or whatever. And there goes Tristana, uses her everything. Janna goes in, flashes over, uses her ultimate, pushes Caitlyn right into the turret and into Lee Sin so that he can finish her. Tristana just goes up for this one. The exhaust is being used. So that is pretty neat. So right now, just like my favorite thing to do with passive supporters is pretty much just warding. Warding. Just because, for example, Janna here, she have now that 7% movement speed increase. Actually, my mistake. I thought it was 8. And here goes, here they go. But they couldn't do anything. The knockup from Janna could stop them. And there goes the pink ward. Now, when you have this much movement speed, and if you go, for example, like movement speed boots, or I mean, it's boost of swiftness, boost of mobility, if you want, whatever. You can just have so much pressure around the map, running around with oracles. So now the laning phase is pretty much just continues to snowball, and this is what I mean. Like, okay, let's take a real look at this, because this is pretty much passive supporting. Okay, so Amumu dives in for this. It looks like the blue team want to continue to dive. Janna tanks this one, but they're just able to, yeah. The blue side couldn't do anything, simply because they have that is disengaged. Janna knew that, okay, I have my ultimate up, I have my shield back up right now, and what can you really do? The shield goes down on the turret, they don't want that to be taken down so quickly, and there goes one hit at Caitlyn. Right now they're just dealing some damage to this Amumu, and the minions are about to disappear. And you know, that shield, if we're able to stay alive for so long time simply due to that extra shielding. And here it goes, they're just going up for the chase, getting that flash, getting the knock up, and they're just gonna burst down Amumu. But it looks like, yeah, Amumu goes down, Lee Sin will go down, Janna will go down too. Oh, actually, she survives with barely. Okay, that was nice. And here comes Yorick, does not get that. And Tristan just sets back, I think. So, oops. Where's the hotkey for the... Fuck it. Okay, let's just double press it, Janna. Okay, so what this generally means is that passive support as we had seen, they just utilize the fact that their opponents have not been able to initiate. When you have someone like Janna and you have so much disengage. Okay, real talk, guys. Okay, there are three champions that I think any support should sort of learn to play. That is Syra, Nami, and Janna. Either all three if you want, or just at least one of them. Because these three champions are those with some of the sickest disengages of all the supports. All of them have like huge ultimates, which covers a huge area and knock-ups or stuns, or knocks people away. Janna knocks people away, Nami knocks up, and Syra knock up as well. And over a huge area means that they can just disengage and stop a lot of people. Nami have her bubble, one of the longest stuns. Janna have her knock up through tornado and ultimate. And Syra have her knock up through ultimate as well as the binding through her, is it E? Okay, anyway. Let's get back into the game. I just think that those three supports is something that every support main should really learn to play. And even if you do not main support, it's just learning them is just really crucial. Because it gives you a lot more capabilities as support. Because they're good in any situation. They're like Janna, for example, there is some matchups that she's a lot better in than others, but she's definitely never really a bad, terrible pick. Like you don't come to the point where you're like, okay, well, Janna is really terrible right now. Especially not in the lower leagues. Lower leagues, really learning Janna can be just really good. And here goes the dive, and you know the shield, just it helps so much. And there goes Tristana tanking that turret. The flash up, gonna try to tank it, but the box was perfectly timed by Thresh, and they're actually able to pick up a double kill there for Caitlyn. So that was, I don't know what Tristana went for there in that dive, but anyway. So let's try to get to the actual team fight so that I can talk about that. So as you can see now, Janna is just running around, getting up her shit. And then yeah, they're just gonna take towers, gonna dive in for that one, getting that kill. The shield goes down, does an extra 600-700 damage through that. There comes Jarvan. Jarvan mid lane does a lot of 80 damage, just instantly nukes him down. The flash goes off from Janna, and of course with her escape capabilities through the fucking insane movement speed, the 10% there, plus the tornado of course. Made her able to escape, and there for some reason people decided to fight. I don't know why. So Janna just decided to go for some knockups there and just say, okay, I'm gonna try to escape here. Could not do that. Anyway, she's probably able to escape, yeah. Okay, that was good. So in team fights, having someone like Janna can be actually changed, even though she does not do any damage. It's just the way that her CC works. And of course, what is sort of the support's job within a team fight? Well, if you have an aggressive support, you tend to be either try to go aggressive, do damage, and do CC to one of their initiates or carries. For example, Lulu uses her ultimate on one of your initiates so that there can be a multiple knockup, right? And then you have someone like Janna on the other hand, which job can be either purely knock up pretty much anyone on their team with their tornado, or of course do the 100% peel strategy. For those who do not know what that is, it's pretty much you're going to be focusing on your entire, like all of your abilities is going to be spent on peeling for your AD carry. Janna has like super capabilities for this with a knock up and a knock away plus a slow. And of course the shield can help Tristana just staying alive for like through whatever. Look at that. That entire fight started through the tornado from Janna, knocking up at least one player. And there, of course, the ghost is gonna try to knock up that shit. Tristana went in for it. And here comes the kills. They're just being picked off due to simply, like, people try to outrun you. That's when Janna comes into play. Because her tornado you can just, with her W's passive, you can chase people, you can knock people up with her Q. So right now the game is pretty much just starting to snowball, I think. And here it goes, okay? So the blue team can't really fight through this. Here, and of course the warding, nice little ward there. With extra movement speed, warding is even safer than it usually is. And here, like, if, for example, Jarvan decides to jump on, a tornado can pretty much just stop them. And there goes the W from Mouse, being very heavy crowd control. You can sort of look at it as like controlling ability, because you pretty much you can throw it down here, and they don't want to pass through that because then it will take a lot of damage. Look at it. Let's check the W. Okay, it doesn't deal too much, but it deals 5% of their max health per each second, plus 2%. That is a lot of damage. So here, this is actually kind of cool. We can now see that Garen, he knows that they're there, and he wants to challenge them, whilst the rest of his team decides to take the Drake. This is something I really like, because he distracts them, make sure that that is 153 gold there. The ultimate goes down, he flashes away, and here comes a little team fight. And this is it. This is where Janna like excels. Look at this. That is triple knockup. So Amiibo uses his stun, but that does not really help, because, well, the triple knockup really just counter-predicts us. Like, they can't deal the damage they want to deal during the ultimate, because they're already knocked up. So there they get one guy, and there comes ultimate to do the extra peel. Tristana gets a lot of damage here. I know she just ran around for a bit of time. Malzahar is saved. Janna tanks that, I think. Yeah, Janna tanked it. And here the jump, going for the thresh, the Yorick falls, and there they go for the very last one. Caitlyn uses a barrier, but will probably fall anyway. Lee Sin gets her Q, and that's a pickup. So that was actually a really nice trade. It traded actually like one. It was only one? We're gonna say, no, Garen actually survived. That was actually 1 for 5 plus Drake, okay? Does this, okay, I don't think this is much with supporting to do. But in general, let's just sum up right now, because I think the game is, yeah, it's pretty much over. Alright? So now let's just sum that up sort of quickly, okay? Passive support is diverse and different from the aggressive support, simply due to the fact that you're utilizing your opponent's mistakes. You're sort of playing the adaptive laner. In lane, you're going to be focusing on adapting after what your opponent does. If they're playing hyper aggressively, maybe you want to play a bit more defensively, maybe they go out of position, you just utilize the fact that they are out of position, and you can use your CC on them, you can shield, and you can just win trades over time. You may as well. So that's the thing that I think is most important. You're just going to be focusing on just, oh wow, that was nice jump. You're gonna be you can just actually relax when you're playing passive support and just like say, okay, he is doing this, then I will do this or this. And of course you can then peel in a lot higher fashion. Like, passive supports tend to be a passive support simply because they have so much high peel, and they can win team fights using their peel. They can win the laning phase during the peel. Say that the bot lane has like one burst or 180 carry or something like that, and they want to go, they're rushing for your 80 carry, and you're just able to use a tornado, use a slow, put your shield on your 80 carry, and he's able to dish out like extra, say 200-300 damage through the shield, and of course the knock, meaning that they don't get out either abilities nor auto attacks, and you can just win trades that way. So you can lol king me here. This is Conspire Prophet here. And you can see that over, like, I don't know, 30 games, 30 to 40, I don't know what it exactly is. I have 70% win rate with Janna right now, so I am definitely recommending her if you're in the lower leagues. Higher leagues, she's actually played a whole lot. She's definitely not a bad pick, even if you want to carry in the lower leagues. If you want to carry in lower leagues, do not say that I need a damage support, I need an all-in support, because you don't really do that. Even passive supports have their own ways of winning, okay? So, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that this video was not terrible. Since I did it live, I don't know, there was not much time that I did at clipping and all of that shit. Like retaking it, I'm not redoing this. So, I hope that it was not too shabby. I think working on the live things can be really valuable. I think you can learn a lot more if you just do it live without the clipping. So, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.